Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Casual Conversations with Comic Creators. We're live, and it's been a while actually. Well, I say a while. We did live stream last week, but a while for a comic conversation. I think a couple months ago. I took a bit of a break over July, but we are back. This is the Maya Matter Show, where each month except for July, I speak to a different comic creator about their journey and what goes into the craft of making comics. So it's all about showcasing the human being behind art as we discover each person's story. So I am the My Matter co-founder Nigel, and I am here today talking with Vivian Truong. Vivian, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Cool. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I always appreciate people giving up part of their evening to chat with me, so appreciate that. And for those who might not know, Vivian is a comic artist whose work includes the best-selling middle grade series City of Dragons, The Awakening Storm, Cooking with Monsters, Beano, The Day the Teachers Disappeared, and her latest cookbook graphic novel, Buddha Jump Over the Wall, which I've got here. I've recently received Google Play's Best of 2025 award, and she's currently working on the fourth installment of City of Dragons. So a lot of work there and a lot of different types of work, which I'll be interested to delve into. But to jump in, also welcome, chat. Hello, Neil Swites. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. See what I can get to. I was going to say, because Vivian, we've just recently met because we were at the Children's Media Conference in July. That was part of the reason why I didn't do a live stream in July. But and the Children's Media Conference is kind of what it says on the tin. To be fair, it's a conference for those who make children's media. But how did you find that experience? Because you spoke on a panel, and thank you for doing that because I was partly responsible for that as well. How did you find that experience? Was that the first time you've been to the Children's Media Conference?
That was the first time I was at that conference. Not the first time I've been on a panel. Funnily enough, with John Locke, he had this comic summit in Cheltenham like a couple of years ago. It was like way before I even did like City of Dragons. He actually invited me to my first ever panel, so it was kind of nice to like be on a panel with him that time. But yeah, that was a really cool experience. I felt really intimidated. I mean, so
Seriously?
many like cool like cool creators there. Yeah, yeah. Like Hamish is such a big name, so it's just like, oh my god,
Yeah, no, I get that. It's funny because when we were putting it together, myself and the producer Jordan, because we were like sort of looking around for different people, and then she had got like a list together, and then we were thinking like, oh, do they know each other? How's the chemistry? And then we found out you all knew each other anyway. So it was like, yeah,
yeah,
it's a reminder of like comics being a relatively small industry.
yeah. Like I mean, I have a feeling they all know each other more than I know them, but I kind of knew like most of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
But like, I had spoken to a few of them before, but yeah, that was really cool though. It's just kind
yeah.
of talk about comics and the reality of comics with them as well.
No, it's good, and I can't remember if I said this on the day, but I got a lot of feedback from people because for those who don't know, and I've put up some pictures on the live stream of the day. For those who don't know, the children's media industry is in a, let's say, challenging place right now, and there's a lot of doom and gloom around. And I had a couple people like tell me it was nice to hear positivity from people who enjoy comics, like enjoy making comics, enjoy the medium of comics. So I think it was a nice kind of ray of sunshine in the doom and gloom of the comics industry. So that was something as well. And it's an important conversation. I feel. I mean, the reason why we wanted to put it together, and we're going to talk about it today is like just yeah, comics are important. I think misunderstood and underestimated in a way, particularly because like you've done talks and stuff with like young people, and you
Yeah.
see like the impact it has, not just on young people. I don't want to say like comics are only for young people. It's a whole medium of a
Hmm.
whole range of stories. But in this, this is the year of reading, and that whole idea of reading for pleasure, like that impact that comics do have. So, yeah, how did you get into comics, like making comics?
Um, So I've always loved like comics as a kid, but I never really thought about it as a job either. Like I always wanted to do like I always wanted to be like an animator, or really what I used to say as a kid whenever I said I would want to be a cartoonist. Really, I wanted to be like a showrunner, and then I realized like what it takes to be like a showrunner.
Yeah.
But I started getting into like I started reading a lot of manga as a teenager, but then it was pretty much when I picked up like Scott Pilgrim as like when I was like 17 or something like that. Then I kind of saw like Western comics like outside of just like the superhero comics, or like the
Right.
really kind of the older like comics, things like Asterix and Obelix, or
Yeah.
Hedgehog,
Yeah.
or that's like the or like Beano, like those comics that I used to read, like
Yep.
they were just kind of short form, right? But I just never saw anything like that. That was kind of like manga format. Aside aside from like the superhero ones where it was like longer stories, but even they were like really broken up
Mm.
stories, because there's not always a continuation, right?
Yes.
So Scott Pilgrim was the first time I ever saw a kind of series. I mean, it is manga inspired, but it was just like, wow, like, oh my god, we can actually have these kind of stories in the West. That's
Mm.
really cool. And then I started getting more into like the world of like graphic novels that were published like in the West. Like when I found weirdly, I found Mouse in my school library.
Okay.
That was really
That's
that was
heavy.
like
Yes.
wild. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was heavy, but I loved it. It was
It's
so
great.
good, and that's when I like realized that, oh, I actually really like comics. And I thought, um so I went to like I did an animation degree at university, but I always thought that I would work a bit in the industry and then retire and do comics. Like I would just make
And then
enough money.
retire. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, this is like my deluded like thoughts when I was like 18. I was just like, yeah,
Yep.
I'll just make some money doing animation and then I'll do comics all the time. But then it was funny because after I graduated university, I could not land a single like role, like a job in the industry, and ended up somehow just getting loads of comic gigs, and I just ended up just doing comics full time. So it was kind of like I just got shoved into like my dream job.
Okay. Not bad. There's a lot of people wishing they get shoved into their their dream
Yeah,
job. So
I was very lucky. Yeah, really, really
yeah.
lucky. Yeah, but I've always loved like storytelling. So, and
Mm.
comics is like the easiest way for me to do it, because
Yeah.
I'm definitely not a good animator.
Yeah. We because when we started My Matter, we had this idea of animation. And again, we were talking just before we went live that we did not know what we were doing at the at the beginning, and we were like, oh, we're gonna like make animation with these stories, and then we found out how much time and money, specifically money, animation costs.
Yeah.
Like, nope, we're not going to do that. Let's make some comics instead. And then we went in that route. I mean, I would still like to do animation, and I think I'm starting to think more about it, but that's a whole other thing. And it's so funny to hear, because like it's funny to hear you talk about your like 17, 18 year old self thinking that I'm just gonna do some work and then retire. But because we do like workshops and stuff, so we talk to young people, and because you never want to like dismiss like people's dreams, because even if it's like that is unrealistic, it will take you in a direction that will lead, that could lead to where you want to be. But it's funny to hear like what people at that age just think this is what's going to happen. Like I'm laughing at you, but I'm also of a similar mind where when I was thinking like I would retire young, because I would just like I would just make it, like genuinely thought that I would just make it somehow.
Yeah.
And this was before we even
No,
thought of comics or anything. So
yeah. No, literally, I thought I'll work in animation, and when I'm 30, I'll do comics. Like that was my idea for retiring, being 30, as if that's really
that
old.
old.
It's just so funny. But yeah, I know I do feel really, really lucky. But I think I also, to be fair, like even after I graduated university, actually even before university, in
Mm,
like secondary school or something, I used to just always constantly make comics. And this is the thing that like people trip over, like people who want to make comics, is that they want to make comics, but they don't do it. They just love the idea of it, but they don't actually like practice making them. And
mm,
even just like short form comics, I was like doing it since I was like a kid and like a teenager, even like doing it for like my school newspaper, things like that, like doing comics, and like entering in competitions, and just kind of like constantly practicing. One thing I think that kind of like jump started my career, which is in some way like, so a lot of people frown upon, but actually it is what like happens more like often to like younger people now is that I actually drew a lot of fan art and I did a lot of fan comics, and that's kind of what like
Mm,
not only like prepare like help me practice like making comics and storytelling, but also it did get me noticed by people. Like so one of my biggest like big gigs that I got when I was like in my 20s was that I drew this like fan comic from like the game like League of Legends,
yeah.
and someone from League of Legends actually saw it and was like, "Oh, hey, do you want to work on like these comics for us?" And that's how I
Oh
like
wow.
I got that gig. Yeah, just because I was just doing
Wow.
that.
And
Yeah.
at the time, did you? Because one of the ongoing things for creators, I feel, is like almost like diminishing their work or not liking their work or thinking it's not perfect. Like when you were making
Mhm.
these fan comics, were you thinking like these are great? I'm gonna put these out, or what was your thinking at that time?
I mean, like I just like me and my friends always joking about graduating from clown college because I love like making people laugh with my comics. I'm better at like the funny side of comics rather than the introspective side.
Okay.
But so my thing is always just I just want to make people laugh, and it's usually just for my friends, to be honest. But I just put it out in the world. So that's something I always can maybe put it I probably like downplay put like kind of a bit of a down on myself on. It's just that I never consider myself as like a really amazing illustrator or anything, but
Hmm.
I do think that I am quite good at like storytelling. So that's why I love comics, because I don't feel like I need to be like some amazing like artist. I
Right.
can still tell a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get
So
that.
yeah, it didn't really. So I didn't get that concerned by it. Like if my art wasn't that good or anything when I was drawing comics, because at least as long as it looked funny to me, then
Then it
it's
worked.
enough.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair, fair. And how would you describe your style? Because you've got, I put some of it on stream, but you've got a, because it seems like you do varied types of comic, or at least varied age groups, and especially here in the UK, we're very much like age bands. So like
Hmm.
you're targeting a particular demographic. But how would you describe your work and what ages you aim at?
Yeah, so I think my style it does suit for like younger audiences a lot. I think because I was really heavily influenced by like anime and manga as a kid. I mean, it's quite obvious in my style. And like a lot of people do automatically just call my style like manga style, but I like to consider it a bit of a hybrid between like the kind of Western comics I used to read and also manga too. Maybe it does just lean a bit more into manga. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit delusional, but yeah, I think a lot of artists these days are really like influenced by manga as well, and like
Mm,
it's not just me. But I do feel a little bit like, because I obviously am a Chinese person, that people like will automatically think, oh, you're drawing in manga. But I kind of feel
right.
like, but I don't really, I don't call it manga myself, so that's why I say it's manga influenced. But yeah.
Yeah, we had a whole after. So when we did the comic session the next day, so that was the Thursday, I then moderated a discussion about anime and having that conversation about what counts as anime. So we did this. I sort of made up this quiz at the beginning, like, is this anime? And I showed like different things, like Dragon Ball, Solo Leveling, something else, and then
Hmm.
Avatar: Last Airbender,
Yeah.
which is not anime but
Yeah.
sort of anime style. And then we talked about. Have you seen Dragon Striker?
Oh yes, I actually have. That was part of the children's media conference,
Yes,
right?
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
the person, the exec producer of that show was from Disney. So and then so Dragon Striker became a. I mean, it was relevant. So it wasn't just like he forced it in. It was relevant to the discussion because
Yeah.
that's also not anime, but
Hmm.
I think the term he used was anime adjacent. Anime or maybe anime
Yeah.
inspired, something like that.
Kind of animated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, definitely Avatar is very obviously anime influenced, but again, that I wouldn't call that anime either,
Yeah.
because it is very, to me, it is still very Western.
Yeah. For
It's funny
sure.
because they use a lot of like anime tropes in the beginning, like maybe in the first season or so, but then they really tone it down later on.
Oh,
Or
I
at
didn't
least I think so.
even. Oh, I hadn't even thought that. Oh, I have to rewatch that. Neos Whites in the
Yeah,
chat says, "What is your favorite manga or anime?"
Ooh, my favorite manga currently is Dungeon Meshi, like Delicious in
Oh,
Dungeon.
I need to
I
watch that.
love that.
Okay,
It's
I hear it's
so
very
good.
good.
Yeah, my
Okay.
favorite anime. So the one I tell people, well, the one I always recommend people to watch is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's
It's
just
arguably the best.
yeah, I would consider it like the best anime of all time. But
Yeah.
my personal favorite though is I don't know if you know Higurashi no Nakukoroni,
No.
the When They Cry series. It's like a it's like a horror anime. I don't like horror
Mm.
generally, but I don't know why this anime I love it so
Okay.
much. It's just so good. It's
Okay.
just a lot of like works are like influenced by this series. It's kind of just like one of those loop stories, but it's just done really well.
Mm. Okay. All right. That's a recommendation for me then.
Totally
Yeah, yeah.
recommend it. Yeah.
I'm currently watching Witch Hat Atelier. Atelier?
Oh yeah,
Atelier?
that's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, quite impressed with that. I'm about halfway or just over halfway
Yeah.
through. So that's really good. Um, and in terms of your work, so you're talking about like, the inspirations and things. And one of the things I'm interested to know because you've got a new or you've got something new coming.
Mm.
Interesting to hear about that, but also so back to this question about like age profiling. So for our manga, for example, we've always said all ages. So it's like Pixar. It's safe for younger audiences, but adults can and have and
Yeah.
read it as well. And funny enough, speaking of the Children's Media Conference, when I first got involved with that, and I went to one of the like the first in person event because I think I first connected when it was virtual, and then went to the in person one and chatting with people, and then people asked me like who's the age like
Mm.
demographic. I didn't really have an answer. I was like it's all ages, and since then I've kind of learned a bit more. You've got the different
Yeah.
age brackets,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to be fair, I still don't. Yeah, maybe I should have a better answer because we've got different stories. The different stories might lean to different age profiles. But what's the age profile of your work? And I wonder how you came to that. Was it just because of your style, or were you intentional about like it's middle grade and it's this age for that story?
Yeah, to be honest, like when I was just drawing like for myself, I was yeah, pretty much just drawing for my age group, I guess. But when I landed like City of Dragons, I didn't actually change my style in any way because I felt like my style was kind of like looked young enough
Okay.
to kind of appeal to kids. But also like the a good thing about what I love about City of Dragons is that it is a children's story and it is like aimed for 8 to 12, but it really does not dumb down like some of the tones of the book. Like I wouldn't say it's like the darkest thing ever, but
Mm.
it's like it doesn't shy away from like like more adult messages like things like death and whatever. But yeah, so then I didn't really feel like I had to change much. Whereas Cooking with Monsters, like because it was like a teen series, I did feel like I could be a little bit more like maybe freer, like what I was doing. And I really because it was like an action series, like influenced by like inspired by like manga, like shonen, like action manga. I
Yeah.
did try to like lean into those tropes a bit more. But yeah, but like a completely different book was like my cookbook graphic novel. That one I knew the writer was not really feeling like my regular style because it's quite clean looking, I guess.
Right.
She wanted a bit more like I guess how do you put it, like more like illustrative. So I changed it to like a completely different style of mine, just like something just a bit more like friendly for like universally, just like for people who
Right.
don't necessarily like that kind of manga style, I guess, but
Oh,
just
okay.
something.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Do you feel like people are like put off by the manga style, or was that the thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, not necessarily that like people are put off, but I think maybe it does look. I think want it to be have more like bit more appealing to everyone and not just
Mm.
people who like just like that style as well. Because
Yeah.
I think some people might get like intimidated by it, but they see something that looks like manga s and think, oh, but I don't read manga.
But yeah,
You know
that's
what I
yeah, yeah,
mean?
that's exactly. So, like when we started, we had because we wanted a manga style, but I remember when we were thinking about characters and the types of characters, so we had the option of going with like human characters. I think there was an idea of doing like robot. characters like for our universe,
Mm.
and then animal characters. And I remember thinking the same thing that you just said. I was thinking like we want the style, but for those people who might look at it and say that looks like manga, I don't read manga.
Yeah.
Let's use animals because then at least it's there's a bit of a like the Disney kind of there's animals, maybe it's
Yeah.
approachable kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's weird to me. Do you? Because I don't get it. But obviously, I'm into anime manga. You're into anime manga, so it's preaching to the choir. But it's weird that that style will be off-putting in that way. Like, yeah, I just don't get it. I don't
Yeah,
get
yeah,
why it
I
would be. But
know because I like it as well. That it
yeah,
doesn't really put me off. But then I guess it's kind of like because it's a cookbook that you want to grab as many people as possible.
fair.
And I do find that like I try to like kind of imagine people I know in my life that don't read manga
Mm,
and would they be like what kind of thing they're looking for. It's not necessarily that I was trying to appeal specifically to like this kind of target audience, but I was just kind of thinking like, well, if I was this person, or at least if it was just me, and I was looking for like a I don't know, or if I just saw like a cookbook that was like
yeah,
a graphic novel, if I guess I do kind of feel like if I saw that it looked quite like my regular style, then I would feel like there was more of a I don't know. I guess there's like a bit of a stereotype of like of it being, but there was a bit more like narrative in it. I don't know,
right.
but I don't know how to put it. Like my looser style with like Buddha jumps over the wall. It's like I just felt like most casual readers would pick it up rather than if it was like in the manga style. It feels like it would be for people who actually read manga
Manga.
and are looking for like more of a story. But yeah, but I did, but it does work because when I take these books to conventions, for example,
Mm,
like I feel that most people who look at, they always instantly look at Buddha jumps over the wall, and it's usually people who don't really like, they don't really read like manga books that much, or like read
right.
much in general, but they're just instantly like, oh, this looks interesting. Like it's quite, I guess, like
Like eye
easy for
catching and
them,
yeah.
yeah, look at.
Mm. Yeah, it's funny. Like I don't know if you found since maybe the early days of you making comics, if your awareness of target audiences and
Yeah,
demographics has come more into your work, because I've had to think more about that. Like I said, sort of conversations and things, and it does make me, I guess, yeah, appreciate like roles of like publishers, people who sell things, because as audiences, even though, and I'm sure every creative at one point has said this, like my work is for everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm making this. I want everyone to read it. And that's true. Everyone can read it, but not everyone will read it because people will make
Yeah,
their own judgment. So even as a comic creator, you might want to focus on just making the thing, but then you have to consider like
yeah,
who is this for and what's their reaction going to be.
yeah. I think it's a completely different story if, like, say I made this cookbook living in Asia, because then I could probably just draw it the way I normally draw it,
Mm,
but I think because we're selling it to like the Western audience, you just like yeah, there's not everyone who reads comics likes what like really tends to read manga.
fair.
I mean, to be honest, also like I was also just really limited for time. That's why I wanted to go for like a looser, like more painterly style.
Fair
That was like
enough.
another
Okay.
factor.
So it saves you
Yeah,
time. The style
yeah,
saves you
yeah.
time.
There was a lot of
Right.
reasons
Okay.
why, but the appealing part of it, it was actually that was one of the biggest factors because I knew the writer was, yeah, she didn't really want my regular style, and I also just didn't want to put all that effort in, but also feel like it's not going to reach everyone.
Sure.
Like I think, yeah,
Okay. And then so cooking with monsters 3. Explain. So that's the cookbook. So
that's a different story. It's quite confusing.
okay, yeah.
That's
Explain what the different yeah.
Yeah, so Buddha Jumps Over the Wall is a cookbook graphic novel. So this one's about Chinese dishes with unusual names, and it's all about the origins behind those dishes and the actual recipes to go with it. They're actual real dishes, and most of them are like kind of the real folk tales, but some of them are also the writers like her own spin on some of the dishes that like the origins, or otherwise it's like her personal stories about it,
Mm,
like growing up in Wuhan. So cooking with monsters is a completely different thing. Cooking with Monsters is my teen action series, published
Ah,
by
okay, okay,
ID.
got it.
Yeah, so this is a trilogy, and it's about teenagers learning how they attend a school, this culinary combat school, learning how to fight monsters with like giant utensils, and learning how to use them as ingredients afterwards. And there's like some like bigger stories going on as well, with like poachers and like the ecosystem, and yeah,
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we both have cooking focused stories,
yeah,
because I've got Samurai Chef, which is
yeah.
a monkey that attacks food. It's a cooking show, and he judges food by attacking it with a samurai sword, and then the
Oh,
food
I love
gets
that.
turned. It's quite. I don't know how we thought this, but and then the food gets turned into monsters, like food monsters, and starts fighting back,
I
and it
love
becomes
that. Yeah.
like a battle show. But so for your series, then was it? Because we're Samurai Chef. I don't know how it's probably not that widely known, but we did. So again, before we went live, we were talking about like Kickstarters and stuff. So the Samurai Chef was a story that we did, and we did the first 50 pages, and it was essentially a story I'd come up with, but hadn't fully thought out. So that first 50 pages
Yeah.
was about as far as I saw, as far as I thought of that story. But then we wanted a full volume. So then the next crowdfunding we did was for a full volume. So I had to go back and sort of retrofit a
Yeah.
story into it. So for your for your story, was that because you mentioned like different themes in there as well? Was that always the intention, and was that the plan for your story, or did you just make it up as you go along, like me?
Yeah, so Cooking with Monsters is a collaboration with the writer Jordan Elseca. So he actually was the one who came up with the story. He basically pitched his idea to me about well, he went to like do you know Benihana?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
like so like the Japanese restaurants with like
Yes.
the
Is
rice.
it an American? Do we have that in this country? I've
I
just
think we
assumed.
do. I
Oh,
think we
okay.
do. I think I went to one, or maybe something similar. But I no, actually, I'm pretty sure we have one in Central London.
Oh, okay.
So
That's like they cook the
yeah,
food right in front of you. That's the
yeah,
yeah.
with like the spatulas and the knives. So he saw that and was like, "Oh my god, what if like we had like a story about like using those like utensils to fight monsters, right?" So he had that idea, and he originally wanted to pitch it as like issues. So we actually, he did pay me to like make like the first issue, and we were going to like maybe pitch it as like either a Kickstarter, or we were or looking for like a publisher that maybe ones who did do more like the issues rather than like OGNs,
Mm.
like the thicker like graphic novel volumes. But so we did have like some offers, but like webtoons, Scout Comics, but ultimately we decided like to kind of keep working on our pitch. And then eventually we did I think it's called like Pit Mad on Blue Sky, or maybe it has a different name, DV Pit or something like that. It's like
Okay.
a pitching event. There's one coming up soon, actually.
Okay.
So if you're like unagented, you can pitch your story out,
I am
and
unagented,
yeah,
so that could be for
yeah. So
me.
please check this out. Yeah, it's like I'll send you a link afterwards.
Okay.
So yeah, so then agents and sometimes editors will have a look at your pitch, and they might contact you. So we actually got contacted by an editor from IDW, like Erica Turner, and she like really fell in love with the idea, and she was actually our champion for getting like 3 volumes sold
Oh,
to
cool.
IDW. Yeah, so we were really lucky to find her.
Mm.
Yeah, so we worked on the series with IDW.
Right. So the full series is 3 volumes, so that
Yeah,
it's all there
yeah,
and
yeah.
available. Ah,
Yeah,
that's
and so the third book just came out like 4th of
yeah.
August.
And then you said you worked with a writer, and then you said previously cooking with Buddha, you worked with a writer. So for your stories, so you're an artist and you look for writers, or do you write stories yourself, or what part of the process are you more focused on?
Yeah, so I'm mainly the artist,
Mm.
but I do like I don't I'm not very good at sitting back and not saying anything if like about the story.
Fair, yeah.
If like something doesn't make sense to me or whatever, then I will say my piece.
Mm.
But yeah, I do like to be part of the story process. For now, most of my graphic novels are written by someone else, and I'm mainly just the artist. But yeah, I do like I do try to make it more of a collaborative effort rather than
Yeah.
just me being told what to do. Do you know?
No, I get that because we have an artist. So I'm the writer, and I
Yeah,
basically because I always say I do pretty much everything except draw
Yeah.
for the brand and the business. But I think why I appreciate we have a really good illustrator, Penali. But then when I have an idea, we'll do like script and outline and like supporting documents, and then if something basically like you just said, if something does make sense, then we'll get feedback, which is good because you want
Yeah.
that collaborative experience. So you as the writer might have an idea. I'm sure your writers have like, here's how I want it to look, but then as you're drawing it, some things might not make sense. Or one of the things that I find is that I might write more words than is needed, considering
Mm.
you're going to illustrate and show certain things, and it's like, okay, we can cut that because that's no longer there. So that's interesting. Have you thought about getting in more into writing and combining like talents within yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I have been writing. Hopefully, can see some of that soon.
Mm.
But yeah, I've been trying to like write my own stuff and pitch my own books because ultimately, like, I do love like collaborating. I don't think I'll stop doing that, but I do also really want to have my own books one day and to like have my name and my stories because I just love like telling stories. And yeah, I mean, I do love every single book that I work on, but it's always really not. It's like something really special to like be able to tell your story as
Mm.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you've been working with others and doing your own writing as well, how is your view on like making stories change? Like, have you changed your process at all, or how you think about stories and what they're for? So, because I was thinking about this today. In fact, that I was talking to a friend. I was saying like I personally I don't spend enough time writing, and that's something I want to change in the process. And just thinking about some of the stories and some of the approaches, like I'd definitely approach storytelling differently now. I mean, we just released a comic like last year, so it's not like I haven't done anything. But just I changed the way I approach telling a story and what the story is for. I don't know if is there anything that you've like learned along the way and that's changed your approach to storytelling, or just literally how you tell stories and put things together.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've absolutely learned so much from like with the writers I work with. It's funny because like when I was younger and more had more audacity, I used to be like a lot harsher with my critiques with like some of the collaborations I work with, collaborators I worked with. But as soon as I started writing more myself, I really realized how, oh my god, so how hard writing is. And oh my, like, and whenever you do get like kind of feedback or like critique from your writing, it hurts you on a
Hurts.
different
Yeah.
level. It really does, because whenever if I get any like kind of feedback from my drawing, it's for me it's a bit like, oh yeah, I can see that, like this is just something I can improve on. I can kind of detach myself a bit more because I guess I kind of know where I'm weak with
Okay.
when it comes to drawing. But with writing, it's like, oh my god, what do you mean this thing I spent like a week trying to come up with is
Yeah,
no
it's not.
good?
Which means it's not
Like,
perfect. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, oh my god, like, so I really empathize a lot more with like writers in general now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to practice writing more and try to see like, yeah, just try to see things a bit more like perspective like a reader as well.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
It's tricky. I mentioned our recent comic last year, Origins Against All Odds, and for me it was a more collaborative process. So because we always had like myself and our illustrator, but then we had some younger team members that sort of contributed to like concept art and narrative as well. And I remember there was a point where some of the later parts of the story maybe weren't quite hitting
Yeah.
as they needed to, and I got feedback from people, and you go in your mind like you go in like defensive mode like initially.
You can't help it. Yeah. Yeah. I had feedback where a couple of times where it's like the dialogue kind of like you should read it out loud, or it sounds, your dialogue sounds off or something like that. And it's like, but this is like, is it because well, a lot of times I show it to like Americans and I'm like, is it because it's British? Am I
You
reading
just
too
don't get it.
British?
Yeah,
It
you
sounds
American.
weird. But you don't get it. Or otherwise, oh, it's like, oh my god, but is it me? Do I just sound really awkward? I can't help
Yeah.
that.
it is a tough one. But then, like, once you get through that, then the changes I made it a better story.
Yeah,
So if it's coming
absolutely.
from the right place, there's a there's a quote I keep bringing up on like the podcast and stuff, and I can't remember the exact quote. Or who initially said it, but it just stuck in my mind. So I'm gonna have to go and look at this now. But it's essentially it was around the idea of people critiquing your work, and it was something along the lines of, if people say there's a problem, they're always right, but if they tell you how to fix it, they're almost always wrong, because like
Mm,
they don't necessarily know the craft of it. You're the creator, but if they say there's a problem, like you said, a dialogue, then they're probably right. It just might not be the solution, might not be what they're saying. So always kind of keep that in mind
yeah.
when getting feedback.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting actually, because I think for me, I take every like feedback I get really seriously, but sometimes it's like I can kind of you kind of start to learn like what is actually like a problem with the story and what is actually just someone else's different take on it
Yeah,
as well, like tastes as well. Because I know like sometimes like I might get try to get feedback from one of my friends, and he doesn't tend to like read the same sort of stories that I read, and
right.
like or like we don't read like the same genres either. um so sometimes I can tell like he probably just doesn't like this kind of trope anyway, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's
It's bad.
bad,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So yeah, it's just trying to like you do kind of you just sort of like learn to like pick things from like the critique as well. Like it's the same thing whenever I like have discussions with like some of my writers, like with City of Dragons, for example, with
mm,
Jamal. Like sometimes it's like maybe I don't maybe well, I wouldn't do this a certain way, but this is his story and this is
mm,
like what he like wants to tell, and I can respect that. You know, there's something like because
yes,
maybe because I think I tend to come from a place from like growing up with like lots of like the like anime and manga, so I like those kind of like their follow their sort of tropes a bit more than what
got
he
you.
kind of grew up with, because I think he grew up with like maybe like more older like movies and things like that. So
Yeah, so it's
but
kind of
yeah,
like a, I wouldn't do it
yeah,
that way, but this is a valid
yeah,
way to do it.
yeah,
So as
exactly,
in,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I feel that. Yeah, where do you get your inspiration from? I mean, you talked a bit about anime and manga. I'm thinking specifically for like writing. Is there anywhere you go to develop that side of things, or like do you watch? Yeah, take things from what you watch, or what other things you read.
Yeah, a lot of times it is, but actually these days, I take way more influence from games as well. Like I'm a massive gamer
Oh,
myself,
okay.
so
Oh, we could talk about
yeah,
games as well.
yeah, 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 absolutely. So I think it's just like I don't know. I also read a lot of like graphic novels too, and also just like prose books.
Mm.
So yes, I kind of like take inspiration from everywhere, like or even just like movies that I watch too.
Yeah, I try and do that. I try and do that and think about like whether they're good or bad. Like I recently
Yeah.
watched Supergirl. We got an episode,
Mhm.
podcast episode coming up, and that's a. I don't think it's bad. I just think it doesn't. There's things it doesn't do well, and one of the things it doesn't do well is like, I'm doing this like non-spoilery just in case people watch them, but there's a lot of passive protagonist problem
Right.
in that,
Yeah.
and characters who are fairly similar, and it made me realize like the importance of like distinct contrasting characters
Yeah.
in that. So that's something even I'm trying to learn for myself. I like to think I've got that, but yeah, just characters who just react differently to the same situation because of reasons or whatever past they've got, or things they've been through. So yeah, things like that I like to. So I agree. I like to pull from and kind of incorporate into my own work as well. But it's
Yeah.
cool, like yeah, games, yeah, for sure. Kind of like
Yeah.
learning from that, and I found a lot of. I don't know if you've read like screenwriting books.
No, I
There's
haven't
like
actually.
if
Yeah.
you, I would recommend that. I did that. Well, I say I did that like I don't still read them, but yeah, screenwriting books and just that idea of like how breaking down scenes and things that I've kind of taken a lot from there. But then recently I was chatting with someone and it got me thinking I need to go back and reread, because there's things that I might have read but not quite taken in at the time. But yeah, I always feel there's always different ways. You know, one thing that has definitely inspired me is so I would read a lot of fantasy books as a kid, and
Yeah.
or even the kid as yeah, sort of adult as well. But I recently got back into Brandon Sanderson. I don't know if you're familiar with his work, but this guy's a prolific writer, and I'm just like, whoa, I need to. I was introduced to one of his books I wasn't familiar with, and I was like, whoa, I need to write more because he has written so many books. So I'm like quite impressed with the range of genres. So I feel like taking inspiration from other writers as well, but it does make me feel I'm behind because
Yeah.
we've written a lot of books. Um, but yeah, and the other thing is like we spoke briefly about like conventions.
Mhm.
And do you do a lot of that? I'm just wondering about how you get your work out. Do you do more of a convention thing? Do you go to or do you do online? Like what's the balance for you?
Yeah, so if I can drag myself out of the house, then I will do
Yeah, yeah.
conventions. Yeah, I think it's funny because because I'm such a big like gamer as well, I feel like I can be part of both sides of like the modern day conventions where
Mm.
I can sell my graphic novels and comics and gladly do so, but I also love to do like fan art as well. So I can kind of be part of that sort of side of
Oh, I see.
like the artist alley, like people who
Yeah.
sell purely maybe like fan art. So I can kind of be part of both crowds in a way, but it also makes my store look a bit odd sometimes. I feel, but
In what way?
I think it's kind of strange to sell like these like original books that I work on for like years, but then at the same time, hey, look, here's a Genshin Impact keychain.
Oh, do you get the thing where like the Genshin Impact will get more attention because just people know?
But also, I actually genuinely love Genshin Impact. So
Okay.
for me, I'm not like doing it for attention. I actually am obsessed with this game as well. So I couldn't even like stop myself from doing it if I
Yeah.
wanted
If
to.
you
I wanted to avoid doing it, but at the end of the day, like I also gotta get that bag too.
fair enough. Fair enough. Is that what you're
Exactly.
playing at the moment?
Yeah, it's hard to admit, but it's kind of the only thing I can play these days, like because I don't have a lot of time. But I'm
Yeah.
trying to like get back into like other gaming games as well. But Genshin Impact is like at the kind of like near the end of this like the main story right now, so
Oh,
I
okay.
can't stop right now. Um,
Wait, is it? Because
but
I've not played it. Is it? It's all been one long story.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it's like live updates.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but this basically they kind of like been exploring each region, and this is they've actually made it to the last region, and this is one that we've known from the very beginning that was kind of coming. Like
Oh,
it's yeah, so it was like the kind of the very early antagonist like region, but we're finally gonna get to her
get that.
place,
Oh, okay.
figure out what's going on. But yeah,
Hmm.
I mean I can go on and on.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, otherwise I'm waiting for Fire Emblem to come out, I'm waiting for Fable, I'm waiting for those like big
Oh, yeah,
games.
yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a list of games that I'm probably not going to play at launch, and I'm gonna have to wait. I only just started
Yeah.
playing Disco Elysium
Oh, yeah, I've heard that's
recently.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very very early still, but I'm. You know when you have you had that feeling where you start a game and like right at the beginning you're like, yeah, I'm gonna like this game. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I get that.
This is that.
Yeah.
It's a time
It is
investment.
time. It's hard. Yeah. These days, I don't have time to play games myself, but I just force my girlfriend to play games in front of me. So I've just made her start Mass Effect because that's one of my favorite
Oh, that's
games.
one of my favorites as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so good. And
is
yeah, I know she'll like it. So
that's
I'm
cool.
gonna
Okay,
sit down with
okay. Yeah, forget watching people on Twitch. You play
Yeah,
it.
to be honest,
No.
I prefer that. I prefer like being able to actually play a bit, well, watch someone play a bit in a bit more like either with them or maybe
Yeah.
on a call with them. Like I can't, like I remember, I don't know if you ever played like Walking Dead.
Oh, the Telltale games.
Yeah,
No,
the Telltale series.
I actually
Yeah.
haven't played them. I'm familiar
Oh,
with,
they're
but not.
so
I
good.
hear
Yeah,
that.
so I
Yeah.
played the first three by myself, but then when it came to the fourth game, it wasn't out on Steam because reasons, but like so I decided to just like watch a let's play of it,
Right.
but they were just making all of the decisions that I would not make, and it was frustrating me so much. And you can't like say anything about it, especially even if it was like on Twitch or something like that.
Yeah.
You can't,
Just get in the
you
chat.
can't like
Yeah.
backseat game or anything, you know.
You're doing it wrong, all caps.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, yeah, I was just like, this is not for me. I had to stop and I just had to wait for it
Fair.
to actually come out so I could play it myself.
Fair
Or at
enough.
least like get someone else to play it and I can yell at them
You
in
can,
person.
of course, way more convenient. Have you played Life is Strange?
Yeah, I
Okay,
love that.
I
Right?
figured, yeah, that would be good. Okay, okay, no, it's cool. Yeah, definitely we are big on games here as well. So how? Because we're almost at the end, but I'm gonna end with like a bonus round, quick fire questions. But before we get to that, we are what's the date? 24th August. We're at the end of the year. Well, let me take that back. We're not at the end of the year. We're looking at the end of the year. What do you have? Do you have any particular plans for the end of the year? You just recently released a new book. Is there more on the way, like, or events? What? How do you look at the end of the year?
Yeah, so I am working it on City of Dragons 4. That's gonna be something till I'm gonna be doing till next year. I've got like some like other gigs going on. I also like got planned for MCM Comic Con in
Oh,
October, and
nice.
also I'm doing MegaCon next January. So I've got like a lot of like little side
Yes.
things as well, and I'm also like like keep working on like doing more comic pitches too. So I just try to always keep myself busy. I've also got like a patron going on as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Okay.
yeah.
And just by the way, I first saw one of the photos that you sent across. You were on TV? Were you on TV?
I was on
Oh,
TV. Yeah,
yeah, tell me about that. So I was meaning to bring that up. I was like,
yeah,
what was
no
that?
worries. Yeah, so twice actually. So first time was with both times was BBC, but first one was with World Book Day. So we
Ah,
celebrated
yes,
World Book Day, yeah.
of course.
And we I just did like a little bit of live drawing, just talk about like World Book Day.
Okay, but you because
Yeah,
you are the World Book Day artist for this year, right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's the
Well,
thing.
not this year, 2024 to
Two,
2000
okay,
and
tw-
2025. Yeah,
cool.
so I was their official illustrator. So I was just kind of so I was making like the main graphics that you would see
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice,
It was
nice.
cool to like being to see like my stuff on like posters and like I went to like
Yeah.
Ryman's once and I saw my work on a poster and I was like it was with
Okay.
my mom and my mom never really like understands what I do for a
Yeah, I
living,
feel
so it
that.
was kind of cool to be actually be like, look,
Look,
this is
yeah,
what I'm doing.
yeah. You can actually point to it, and that
Yeah,
I'm sure that was
exactly.
helpful.
Yeah, and also like it actually made it onto like McDonald like Happy Meal boxes as well, so it was like
Ah,
kind of cool to like get like family members to like get the Happy Meals.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice. That was really nice. Okay, and so and then that's the connection to for you being on TV with
Yeah,
the
so it was like there
cool.
was loads of different like promotional stuff. So I went around doing workshops and like doing like school events as well and doing
Yeah.
talks. Yeah, so that was like so that was the first time I was on TV and they kind of the director she called me back to do the Quentin Blake's Box of Treasures kind of series that they were doing for CBBS as well, and that was another one where I was just like I was a guest artist and I had to do some live drawing and like just kind of teaching a lesson as
Cool.
well.
Oh, nice. Do you enjoy working with kids?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
it's
can
really
say no
fun.
because they are tiring. they, they
They
are
are, but they're very enthusiastic though. Like they're very
definitely.
sweet, but
Yeah.
they also on every time I get like the Q&A, they ask me like the wildest questions. Like
What?
I did a 2 week thing in Singapore. Like I was at the American International School as like a guest artist,
Oh
and
wow.
I kind of taught lessons
Mm.
like to like the kids, and then at the end of the Q&A, like I don't know why, but pretty much every session I had kids asking me if I was married, how old I was, and then they would
Yeah,
and
I
then
get some of
sometimes I
that.
get yeah, like, are you rich, do you live in a
Yeah,
mansion, oh my
yeah,
god, people must like recognize you on the
yeah.
street,
Are
and I'm
you
like, I don't
famous?
think
Yeah,
so, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's only because like these kids are like they're from an international school, so their parents are loaded, and like
Oh,
you yourself are like make more money than I
yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah. You can. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that must have been an interesting experience, though. Cool.
Yeah. And then last year I did the Cheltenham Literature Festival, and this was the this was the craziest question I've ever gotten. Some kid asked me, which character from City of Dragons would you date? And I was like, but they're mainly children. I can't answer that question.
Forgive. That's an interesting question.
It was very. Yeah, I had to. I just quickly be like, oh, well, they're kids, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna say the dad, the hot dad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There are a few times where I'm in a session or something and a kid would ask a question. Maybe sometimes it might even be like an innocent, like, what's your favorite anime? And I have to
Yeah.
so quickly give an age appropriate answer.
Yeah.
Cause,
Yeah.
so I have to stop to go and then give a safe safe
Yeah.
answer before someone tells, it's like, oh, the teacher made me go and watch this 18 plus anime.
That's true.
But okay, cool. No, international travel, that's nice. All right, so we are, like I said, we're almost at the end, but what we like to do is end with a quick-ish fire bonus round. And the whole idea, I just like to spring this on people, is that it's based on my belief that like life kind of maps onto storytelling because we're all like lead characters in our own stories. So with these last few questions is the first one is, as the protagonist of your own story, what would you say are your standout attributes and characteristics?
Oh God. Maybe I'm a bit like if we were thinking about like D&D stats, maybe I'd have someone charm. Charisma, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm definitely not dexterous or intelligent or strong. None of
Some sprinkling
I can
of
make
charm.
my way with like talking my way out of things. Maybe.
Okay, charm and humor, maybe.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
that in there. Okay. All right, and we've got the, there's usually like an antagonist or forces of antagonism. So what would you say is your main challenge and how do you work to overcome it?
One is like, so I have like, I do have like social anxiety, so that's like something I have to like constantly battle against. Like it does a thing where it makes my mind blank constantly, and I have to keep fighting like to get those thoughts out. Like stop being so nervous,
Yeah,
just bring
yeah.
it out. You
Yeah,
know?
I get
Yeah, there's that, or just my attention span.
that. Yeah.
Which I-
Cool. All right. There's social anxiety, and then we got you in front of a sort of audience for a panel.
I mean, I have to practice. You gotta do it. I always believe in facing your fears. So you gotta
True.
face your fears.
No, it's good. Okay. And protagonist, antagonist, who would you say are the supporting characters on your journey?
Yeah, I mean, a very clear answer. Like my friends, like they're always like hyping me up, making sure like I don't put myself down too much all the time. So I would have like the crew
Yeah,
with me, I
nice.
guess. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, the crew going on, and then the final question is, usually we have a protagonist that's racing towards some kind of goal. Like, what does success? What does your goals look like for you in this as this character in this story?
Yeah, I always want to be. One of my goals is always wanted to be like have a name for myself, like people actually know who I am. I guess I don't want to be like worldwide famous or anything, but at least in my respected field, be like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's her.
yeah, I like
she's
that.
she's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, she's okay. Yeah,
Yeah, she's fine. She's fine. Yeah, at least I know who
Larry.
she is.
Yeah,
You know.
cool. I like that. I like that. That's a good goal. That's a good goal. Respecting the industry is always something good
Yeah.
to aim for. But yeah, that's it, Vivian. We reached the end of the conversation. Thank you very much for joining me in this, for indulging me in the bonus round as well. Thank you, chat, for watching. Just before we wrap up, just wanted to give a special thank you to Pro Gamers Group UK for their support in providing equipment that we use for live streams, like the microphone I'm talking through, the Streamplify microphone, lighting as well, and the chair I'm sitting on, which is actually still going strong. So the Nitro Concept chairs, and we also use like some of their Gamiac brands. Myself was talking about workshops. We threw all this stuff at some kids in a podcasting workshop. They came up with some interesting ideas. So we use them, but we also use them to introduce like young aspiring creatives into the world of content creation. We also use them for our events, so appreciate them supporting what we do, and hopefully continue. Send us more stuff. Basically, is what I'm saying. If you can, send us more stuff because we will use it. But we appreciate that. I appreciate everyone watching. Don't forget you can join our Discord. Also, I should say we kind of tweaked the website. So if you're interested in what My Matter does, obviously we do live streams. You know that part, but. I've updated the website to hopefully give a better view because a lot of times people don't know all the different bits we do. If you go to mymatter.com, there's a hopefully more informative website as well. Tazzy just said, come to the end to say hi and bye. There you go. Mission accomplished. You can follow us on Twitch as well and YouTube because we stream on both as well. So we do these streams monthly, but we have other streams as part of our Studio 77 platform on a monthly basis. And speaking of Tazzy, you can check out the Story X Story podcast where Tazzy and I have more conversations and creator interviews, video game discussions of Vivian, if you're ever up for talking about video game stuff on the podcast.
Yeah, bring me up.
Yeah, we can do that.
All about the Genshin law. Yeah.
There we go. So we do that and other deep dives into stories across pop culture. But that is the end of this casual conversation, and we will see you again next time. So take care, everyone.